Let's talk about the power of skepticism. So, skepticism is this branch of science, as far as I believe, or rather, it possibly could be a philosophy or an outlook on life where you doubt whatever is presented to you. You doubt any information, any data. You do not take anything as a given. And skepticism was used much by such thinkers as Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin, and they have encouraged all of us to practice skepticism as well. They suggested that we question everything in our lives and we examine the surroundings as closely as humanly possible. And this is one of the main reasons communism is not just an ideology, it can be studied as a science. It used to be studied in Soviet Union. It was a subject, it was called scientific communism. It is still studied in some places like Vietnam. Marxism, Leninism is studied as a science. And the skeptical approach is necessary for any science, so you have to make sure that you rid yourself of all your preconceived notions, of as many biases as humanly possible, and you view the data objectively, which is impossible to do completely objectively, but you need to strive for it. And some suggestions include using an inductive approach rather than a deductive approach. An inductive approach is when you look at the evidence, look at the data, draw a preliminary conclusion and make a hypothesis, then look for more data to prove or disprove this hypothesis, and then come to your working hypothesis, so to speak, and see how it all depends on the data. So the data itself should give you a direction of your hypothesis. In a deductive approach, however, you make a hypothesis, it's going to be based on something, you're not going to pull it out of thin air, possibly. So you draw your hypotheses, then you look for data to prove or disprove it, and then you have your hypothesis ready. So a deductive approach has its place and it can be utilized effectively. However, an inductive approach lends itself more to the skeptical approach as well, or rather the skeptical outlook on the world, on studying the world. And you can use a skeptical approach in any area of your life. Now, there's obviously a danger of going too far and becoming nitpicky and becoming unnecessarily tedious about every single bit of your life and becoming a bore. And I know, because I'm a terrible bore and I make mistakes all the time, no matter how much I try to first gather all my data and evidence. My personal character and personality is very prone to jumping into conclusions. So I'm continuously fighting that with a more skeptical approach and looking at as much evidence as humanly possible before coming to any hasty conclusions or before I make generalities. So my suggestion to you, try a skeptical approach, ask questions about why something occurs, ask the classic 5 W's plus H questions that they teach you at school, and see if your outlook at all changes. If you do not come with preconceived notions to the subject matter, do you think you're looking at the world through the eyes that are less clouded by judgment and bias? Because ideally, if we all strive to be skeptical and we all continuously check each other and help each other see more clearly, then we'll have a fuller, better understanding of the world.